The Mets' first night in Miami last night began well, but they wound up stranded, beached. Mets will try again tonight on the Whirlwind Tour here in Miami. At Marlins Park in Miami, Florida, the New York Mets play the Miami Marlins. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Miami. I'm Gary Cohen. Keith Hernandez alongside as the Mets get set to play Game 2 of their series against the Marlins, who won in walk-off fashion last night. We didn't see a home run from Giancarlo Stanton, but he almost ripped Daisuke Matsuzaka's head off with a line drive, and it got us to thinking about guys who hit the ball exceptionally hard, and Stanton's got to be at the top of that list.
Well, in today's game right now, active players, Stanton certainly is the one guy that hits it the furthest and hits it the hardest. Duck, you can almost get killed on a line drive back to the box like that. Matsuzaka was very fortunate. What I like about him, and speaking in terms of his physique, you think in terms of a power hitter like a big, strong, burly guy. He's tall and lanky, like Dave Kingman, who was very strong, Darryl Strawberry, Ted Williams, Willie McCovey when he came up. So those guys are very sinewy and strong, and this man hits the ball harder than anybody.
You know, when Stanton takes batting practice, it draws a crowd. Maybe not quite as big a crowd as Mark McGwire had in his day, but it got us to thinking also about batting practice performances, guys who could really put on a show.
Well, he hits line drive home runs, folks. Everybody talks. We don't come here and we always hear about his home runs that he gets under the ball a little bit and he hits it over the Budweiser sign out of sight. What we hear most of all is he hits 2 irons, line drive home runs. And you saw that BP swing, that he just took an easy swing. He's very mechanical with his swing. He's got a quick bat. He stays level. You got to pitch him down. If you get the ball belt and up on him and he stays level, he's got the kind of strength where he can hit a laser beam out of any ballpark, opposite field, dead central, or pull.
Stanton leading the National League in both home runs and RBIs, and the assignment of stopping him tonight goes to Bartolo Colon, trying to bounce back from a really bad start in Colorado.
Well, it was the cold night in Colorado. He wasn't supposed to pitch there, and the first game of this 4-game series in Colorado, he did not have it. I did not see his start in California. He didn't have it there. Well, he certainly did not have it in Denver. He was all over the place, upstairs. He bounced back last time after that start, so I look for him in this big ballpark to have his usual Bartolo Colon night.
So Colon, who's had 4 good starts and 2 bad starts, tries to make this one a good one tonight as the Mets try and get even in their series in South Florida. All the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is Gil Walton of the Bronx. Contact Gil's office at gilwalton.net. By Honda, get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. And by the New York Lottery. Follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Driver on the Majors brought to you by Honda. Comings and goings. Clayton Kershaw comes back from the disabled list to pitch for the Dodgers tonight in Washington. Michael Pineda reinstated from the DL, but he's hurt anyway, so he goes on the DL after coming off the suspended list. And Matt Cain, who was trying to cut his sandwich into decorative triangles, cut his finger on a knife. He was officially placed on the disabled list yesterday by the Giants. Giants are rolling, though. They've won 10 of their last 11. Mets trying to get even with the Marlins. Roof's open again tonight at Marlins Park. A gorgeous night. Come on back. First pitch is coming right up. Year, the same Henderson Alvarez who threw a no-hitter the last day of last season.
24-year-old, excuse me, just turned 24. He has got a complete game shutout this season against the Marlins, and there's a lineup right there for you, Gareth.
The Geico Mets starting lineup. Chris Young back in the lineup. Juan Lagares as well. Both of them sat last night against the left-hander, or against the right-hander, and Ruben Tejada back in there as well, as the Mets roll out their regular lineup to take on Alvarez.
And there's the youngster right there. Hard sinker, great changeup. Third pitch, the breaking ball. On the splits on him, keep your eye on right-handers. Hitting .383 against him. Left-handers, .222. His breaking ball is a work in progress, and we'll take a look at the Marlin defense, and that's always brought to you by Coors Light. Don't forget that. Yelich in right. The big strong arm is Stanton in right field. One of the best arms in the league. McGee, Dany Echevarria. He could pick it over at shortstop. And Saltalamacchia, they got some names on this team.
Yes, they do. A lot of syllables, a lot of letters. Have to be careful. You're exhausted already.
I don't know if I can go 9 today.
Juan Lagares leads off against Alvarez. Lagares had a 13-game hitting streak stopped last night in his one at-bat. And the first pitch of the night misses high for ball 1. Lagares, Murphy, and Wright for the Mets in the opening inning. Mets have scored in the first inning each of the last 4 games on this road trip. And Lagares takes a strike 1-1. Juan has come back very strong from the hamstring injury that landed him on the disabled list.
I think he's swinging the bat better now than he was at the beginning of the year.
Went 8 for 20 in Colorado following his return. And he takes a fastball strike 1-2.
Alvarez was part of that big bust-up trade here with Burley and Jose Reyes, and they traded to Toronto and acquired him.
They got Echeverria in that trade, too. Jake Marisnick, who's in the minors right now.
There's
sinker misses 2-2.
There's the good hard sinker from Alvarez. And when he pitched the 1 year in Toronto, his first full season in 12, he gave up 29 home runs. Last year only gave up 2.5 a season here.
He's given up 3 this year, including 2 in his last start. And Lagares bounces one down to McGee at third, and that's the first out of the night. So Lagares retired, 1 out and nobody on.
We'll take a look at Juan's swing here. Got a little out in front. You see he rolled over. That ball was away and pulled it. Played into the hands of Alvarez there.
Here's Daniel Murphy. Murph 1 for 4 last night at a second deck home run in the first inning against Nate Eovaldi. For Murphy was his first home run of the season. Mets hit 2 home runs in the first inning last night. This is the Mets' 32nd game. Before last night, the Mets had only 2 first inning home runs all season. The one that Andrew Brown hit on opening day, and Bobby Abreu last week against the Marlins. And that was it before last night. And then Murphy and Granderson both went deep.
Well, the Mets aren't a home run hitting ball club. It's not the least bit surprising.
Funny thing is, the Mets have been successful in the first inning, but not at hitting the ball out of the ballpark. David Wright waiting on deck. Alvarez ahead on Murphy, 0-2. Alvarez hooked up against Zach Wheeler at Citi Field 11 days ago. He pitched well, gave up 2 runs over 6 innings, but left the game behind 2-1. Marlins would rally to take a lead, and the Mets would win it in walk-off fashion in the bottom of the ninth. It was the game-winning hit for Granderson in that game.
And you see the defense in the outfield. I like where the left fielder is on Murph because he can pop that line, but the center fielder is just a shade. I would bring the other 2 outfielders over and take a little bit of that gap away from Murph.
Taps one to the left side. McGee ranging wide. And that's the second out. So 2 up, 2 ground balls to third. And David Wright will bat with the bases empty. Time for tonight's AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight during the game. Doesn't have to be dogs and babies, although they certainly get the upper hand.
You know what I noticed about our stage manager, Paul? He always gets your read to you right on time. He's never late. That keeps Gary very happy. Thank you, Paul.
Anything that keeps me happy. David Wright 2 for 4 last night, a single and a double. David's now gone 124 at bats since his last home run, the longest home run drought of his career. The only one he's hit this year came on opening day in the 10th inning against Washington, and he hasn't hit one since.
He's got a little bit of that uppercut swing back again. He gets in that habit. Remember how hot he started last year, hitting line drives?
Well, he's had his moments this season, but David's still trying to find his range.
Alvarez was like a matador going down on one knee there. He's got an interesting follow through. Very clean cut beard.
Ahead on Wright 1-2. All fastballs to David as that one moves him back 2-2. David has 4 hits and 9 career at bats against Alvarez. Curtis Granderson hitting cleanup, waiting on deck. Right batting with 2 out and nobody on in the opening inning. And that one spiked in the dirt, 3-2. Anderson Alvarez just turned 24 years old, a native of Venezuela. Stunning when you look at the numbers against him this year that the righties are hitting .383 against him.
You know, whenever I see that, a righty-righty or a lefty-lefty, that kind of stark difference, it's probably because, and I've asked, and it is the case, a mediocre breaking ball.
Again, the 3-2 coming to right. And David lines one to center, falling fast in front of Ozuna for a 2-out hit. David hit it down toward the end of the bat. And the Mets have the first base runner of the game.
Well, David just continues to get his hits. Changeup. Didn't get it away enough. This is a changeup sinking. David gets down. Watch him go down and get it. And here's the big DiMaggio follow through that Ralph Kiner tipped us on.
Maybe it's a number 5 thing. So here's Granderson, who homered in the first inning last night. His 3rd of the year, the 2nd on this road trip. Things have changed drastically over the last week for Curtis. 6-game hitting streak, 9 for 23 with those 2 home runs. That's his average up to a season high 185. And Curtis takes a fast strike, 1-1. Granderson faced Alvarez when they were both in the American League, so he's got 15 career at-bats against him with 3 hits. Chris Young would be next. Marlins now 15-5 at home after last night's win. That one gets away. It caroms out quickly to Dietrich, right trying for second, and he is tagged out. A bad bounce for the Mets. A terrible pickoff throw by Alvarez, but it went off the sidewall and right to the second baseman, Dietrich. And David was a dead duck at second base. Echeverria applies the tag. And that does it for the Mets in the top of the first. Bartolo Colon takes the mound when we come back to Miami. Bartolo Colon takes the mound for the Mets. Christian Yelich leads off for the Marlins and takes ball 1. Yelich at the top of the batting order. Derek Dietrich gets the start at second base. Marcell Ozuna, a night off last night, back in center field. As Colon faces the Marlins for the first time since 2002, when he was a Montreal Expo.
Montreal Expo and a Cleveland Indian. He split the season that year. He won 20. He won 10 with Cleveland and 10 with Montreal.
It was that very famous trade in which the Expos gave up Cliff Lee, Grady Sizemore, and Brandon Phillips, all of whom were prospects at the time, to get Colon. And, of course, they all turned into stars. Colon handles the comebacker from Yelich, and that's his first out.
And we'll take a look at your Metsy defense, and that's always brought to you by Lexus. And that looks like that outfield's going to be etched in stone for a bit, as it should be. Tejada back in the lineup. This big three back there. D'Arnaud, a second straight start. Same cast of characters. Watson.
Elementary. Here's Derek Dietrich with one out, and he takes a strike. Well, Terry Collins said before the game tonight, he didn't say, I think Colon's going to have a good night tonight. He said he's going to have a good night tonight. And he was asked why. As Dietrich fouls one off the left side, I'm going to go out of play. He said when a pitcher like Colon has a night like he had in Colorado, he's not going to have that again. He's too proud. It's too good. And he will go out there and pitch a gem tonight. It was interesting because you don't usually hear a manager say that unequivocally the way Terry said that tonight.
No, Terry's always a guy that pumps up his players. You know, he's a great motivator. That's a strength of that man right there. He's a baseball lifer.
Well, Colon was clearly off his game right from the start in Colorado. His location was way off as he hits Dietrich with a pitch. Then Dietrich leaning out over the plate. Just the second batter Colon has hit this year.
Did he try to get away from this ball?
No. He leaned his elbow into it.
Well, he pulled back, too, so you can't call it. He's got the pad on. So you know what? If you're going to hit him in the ribs.
That's the fifth time Dietrich's been hit with a pitch this year. That is clearly a big part of his game. So here's Giancarlo Stanton with a man on. Stanton 1 for 4 last night. Hit that bullet that nearly decapitated Daisuke Matsuzaka. He was fortunate to get out of the way. And what is a troubling inning for Daisuke in so many respects. Could have been a whole lot worse.
Well, Stanton way ahead in RBIs, leading the National League with 37. Tulowitzki's second, a distant 29. He's leading in home runs, leading in intentional passes. No surprise.
Colon took a little off on that first pitch and comes inside again taking a little off. And the Mets game plan against Stanton has been clear for the last couple of years. Work him in, work him up.
You get out over the plate, that young man. He's going to hurt someone. You're going to have your players go out there with the armor.
And Stanton cracks one dead center field. Lagares back near the wall, and it's off the fence. Dietrich comes in to score. Stanton stops at second. I don't know how he missed hitting that ball out of the ballpark, but it just missed. It's a double for Stanton. 1-0 Miami.
Well, we talk about, watch this, belt high, out over the plate, and watch the swing. Perfect balance. Look at the follow-through level. That's what he does. And the skinny waist. And this is the only ballpark that's not a home run in.
Only the height of the fence beat him. 38th RBI for Stanton, his 10th double. And just like that, Miami has the lead. Now Casey McGee, who had the walk-off hit last night, banged one off the shin of Gonzalez Herman to bring in the winning run in the 9th inning. McGee 21 RBIs without a home run. And he takes a strike. Last night's Miami win was the 6th time in this ballpark that Miami has beaten the Mets in walk-off fashion. If you look at the RBI leaders in the National League. Off the corner to McGee, 1-1. Those 6 walk-off wins in one ballpark is more than any other team has had against any team in these last 3 years. So the Mets have had a habit of getting beat late by the Marlins in this yard. And McGee scorches one through the hole. That's a base hit. Stanton's being waved around. Granderson's throw to the plate will be cut off, and it's 2-0 Miami. So McGee comes through again with a runner in scoring position. He'd been hitting .406 with runners at second or third. Now even better.
Well, has not had a home run, as Gary stated, and he's a better player. So all you kids out there think you have to hit home runs. That's not the case. You drive in runs with base hits, you're gonna have a great career and be rewarded for it. McGee has just discovered himself this year.
I think the year in Japan really paid off for him.
Well, he hit 28 home runs, right, in Japan? I just think he realized this is a big ballpark, and I think this whole squad has done that.
So it's starting poorly again for Cologne, and here is Saltalamacchia, who takes one foul.
And they said that the hitting coach, Frank Menachino, basically told the guys in spring training, there's Big Frank, not to moan and groan about the size of the ballpark. You want to hit fly balls in this ballpark, then you're going to go make a right-hand turn at second base, come back in the dugout with an offer. Hit line drives. Make the ballpark your friend. And the Marlins have been doing it.
Well, you have to know who you are, and if you're Giancarlo Stanton, you can try and hit home runs. Anybody else?
You can see the shift right there on Saltalamacchia. And I'll be glad when we get out of town tomorrow. I'll have to say that name again, along with the shortstop, Echevarria.
12 more games to go against the Marlins, Keith. After this series. 2-1 to Saltalamacchia.
So Stanton, though, Gary, I don't think tries to hit home runs. He stays level. He's just so doggone strong. I mean, my goodness, you got to put him at the gates of Troy. That thing would have been over with earlier.
Well, the problem for the Marlins is he's been a bit of an Achilles. Pulled through the shift and into right field. The third straight Marlin hit. Trying to go first to third is McGee. Right backs up to the bag and makes the tag in time. McGee trying to go first to third. A little overly aggressive, and that's the second out of the inning.
Well, they're really going to be aggressive on the arm of Granderson, and Curtis comes up aces here. Perfect throw. Even it's a one-hopper. Perfect strong throw right to right. And dead as a doornail.
I wonder if part of McGee's thinking was that Wright was out of position playing in the shift and might not be able to get back, but David did.
No, I don't think so. I think they're just... That's a case there we talked earlier where you can make a read, but your coach has got to hold you up there, too.
Garrett Jones fouls one at the plate. Well, I mean, scouting reports are certainly out there, and you know the Mets with Chris Young in left and Curtis Granderson in right have two guys who don't throw particularly well. Teams are going to try and take liberties.
Well, they do cover a lot of ground. The Mets are much better defensively as far as running down fly balls, but they're lacking a little bit in the corner outfielders in the arm department.
Garrett Jones appeared as a pinch hitter last night, drew an intentional walk. He pops this one up, right alone on the left side. And he puts it away to retire the side. But the Marlins cashed two early runs. Stanton and McGee with RBIs. 2-0 Miami after one. There's a beautiful aerial view of Miami and the cruise ship heading out to sea.
That's all South Beach on the left there. Just the southern reaches of South Beach where those tall condos are. Much of all the action's a little bit north. We're a couple around a mile. Get all you can ask for there if you want.
Depends what you're asking for, doesn't it? Curtis Granderson leads off the second. Mets down 2-0. Granderson was at the plate when David Wright was thrown out on that errant pickoff throw that led to an odd carom and ended the first inning. Granderson picking up an outfield assist in the bottom of the first as the Marlins ran on him twice, successful the first time but not the second. Chris Young on deck, then Lucas Duda in the second against Henderson Alvarez. And Granderson rolls one to Dietrich. 1 out. So 1 out now, Chris Young. Young riding a 6-game hitting streak, was out of the lineup last night against Nate Eovaldi because of Eovaldi's evolved numbers against right-handers. As it turned out, it was the lefties who got it done against Eovaldi. Murphy, Granderson, Abreu had the RBIs.
It kind of, the stats didn't lie, did they?
It was interesting, though, watching Eovaldi last night because he threw the fastball first time through the batting order, and the Mets, they crushed a couple. But then he changed the game plan, and it worked for him.
Well, he went to more breaking ball.
Ozuna has the fly ball from Young, and that's the second out.
For Eovaldi to evolve into a top flight pitcher, and he's having a fine year early so far in his first 6 starts, he's going to have to learn how to deal with left-hand hitters. It's going to be a problem for him. He is really tough on the right-handers.
Well, he certainly has a great arm, one of the hardest throwing starters in the game. Here's Duda, who takes a strike. Lucas 0 for 3 last night.
So all those moves the Marlins have made over the last 3-4 years, 3 years, they've kind of panned out for them.
Well, they stocked up on big time talent when they first moved in here 2 years ago, stripped it all down, and they picked up young players that have helped them, and Henderson Alvarez is one of them.
Jeffrey Loria, good pitch. Ooh, I love it when Alvarez thinks he's got a strike. Gets down on a knee. Watch this. The second time he's done it. Yes.
Almost genuflected.
Oh, that got away.
Not often you see that. Pitcher standing in between innings. Anxious to get back out there after a rough first. 2-2 from Alvarez, and a check swing, strike 3, recovered by Saltalamacchia, and Duda's out at first to end the inning. First strikeout for Henderson Alvarez, and Colon will head back out there. Still down 2-0 in the second. Marcell Ozuna leads off the home second inning for Miami. Ozuna hitting a .275. Didn't start last night. Came off the bench. Went 0 for 2.
Had a real strong start last year when he came up and really wore it out. Got a little injury, slowed down, but I like him.
And he pulls one through the hole. And the Marlins getting started again against Colon in the second. Colon hit a batter, gave up 3 straight hits, was fortunate to get out of that first inning with only 2 runs scoring. And now a leadoff hit for Ozuna to start the second. That'll bring up a Danny Echeverria. Echeverria 1 for 4 last night. He's off to a strong offensive start, hitting at .297. This Marlins team has just been tearing it up at home. A .305 team batting average in this ballpark and averaging over 6 runs per game at home. On the road, a .215 average, 2.7 runs per game. Go figure.
And in this big ballpark here, this is their 21st home game, and they've hit 21 home runs. They're basically averaging a home run a game.
It's been a complete contrast home to road. And, as we said last night, when the Rockies do that, you understand it because of the nature of the ballpark. Here, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Echeverria pops it up. And Murphy makes the call and puts it away for the first out. Murphy was keeping his eye peeled on Echeverria just in case he was not running it out, thinking maybe he'd get a double play out of that. Here's the pitcher Alvarez, one of the better hitting pitchers around.
And he has 6 sacrifices in this young season under his belt. So he's had like a sacrifice a game. This is his 7th start.
Ozuna at first and 1 out. Mets look for the bunt, and he gets it down. Colon might have a play. No, doesn't even think about second. Gets the sure out at first. 1-4, so that's 7 sacrifices already for Alvarez, and we've played about a 5th of the season.
He has a shot. He has to come up quick, and I think you got to play at safety first with 2 outs.
Saying quick is not in his repertoire?
Well, we haven't seen enough of him. This is his first year, but I wouldn't want to roll the dice.
Here's Christian Yelich with a runner at second and 2 out. Yelich had a comebacker to open the first inning. Well, next half inning, Kevin Burkhardt will be talking with Mets outfielder Bobby Abreu live from the Mets dugout.
Well, he will not from the dugout.
Well, but right adjacent to the dugout.
Yes.
But I mean, live during the game.
Wonderful.
It's kind of cool. Abreu got the start last night in right field. And it certainly provided a spark for the Mets since being called up. Drove in a run last night. Active major league leader in doubles and in walks. Looking forward to his first stolen base as a Met, which would be the 400th of his career. He's had quite a career.
He sure has.
Lifetime .396 on base percentage. And kudos to him that he was able to sit out last year and make it back at age 40. Yelich drives one to center field. A long run back in the gap for Lagares, and he gets there to end the inning. A single and a man left on. We go to the third. When we come back, Kevin will be talking to Bobby Abreu. 2-0 Marlins. Third inning, Travis d'Arnaud, first pitch swinging, fouls one back against Henderson Alvarez. d'Arnaud 0 for 3 last night, now 0 for his last 8. He's seen his average slip back below 200. d'Arnaud, Tejada, and Colon, the lower third of the Mets batting order against Alvarez in the third. And d'Arnaud breaks his bat, bloops one into shallow left center, and it falls perfectly for a base hit. The bloops count 2.
Well, they all look like line drives in the paper the next morning.
So a leadoff hit for d'Arnaud, the Mets' second of the night. And now Tejada, who did not start the last 2 games after a rough series in Colorado, went 0 for 11. Omar Quintanilla started the last 2 games and had a key error in the Mets' 8th inning meltdown last night. And Tejada fouls it off. One thing seems for certain as the Mets continue to struggle at shortstop. Nothing's happened anytime soon. Mets don't really have anybody available to bring up at shortstop. Haven't heard about anything about a deal being in the works to bring one in. So it's going to be up to Tejada to try and figure this out.
He's been given every opportunity.
Another broken bat. Ground ball to third. McGee to Dietrich, who gets upended and still turns the double play. Hard slide by d'Arnaud, who checks to make sure Dietrich's okay. Dietrich hangs in nicely.
It's a clean slide, and you don't have to say, "Excuse me, did I hurt you?" You can always take him out to dinner after the game. It's part of the game.
So you take him out, then you take him out.
Yeah. It's just part of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. It's clean play. No apologies necessary.
Well, Dietrich, who's been having some trouble with his defense in the early season, made that play nicely. 2 out and nobody on for Colon, and he fouls one off, a ball and a strike.
You know, what I've seen from McGee, I keep on wanting to say McGee. He has that Gaelic spelling, McGee, of his name. And he plays third base. He hasn't got great range, but he's sure-handed, and he's got great fundamentals. He gets in front of the ball, uses 2 hands.
One, 2 to Colon. He goes down swinging. Met pitchers are now 0 for 55, and that's Henderson Alvarez's second strikeout. We're still in search of Bobby Abreu. We'll find him eventually. Head Central. It's the bobblehead museum in the lobby here at Marlins Park. And there he is in fielding position.
No, that's Wilson Pickett.
Now, you're usually a little lower than that, aren't you?
Yes. Well, that's the kind of, in my old age, that's probably how far I can get down.
Bartolo Colon back to the mound for the bottom of the third, with the Marlins in front 2-0. Derek Dietrich got things started by sticking his elbow into a Bartolo Colon pitch in the opening inning. Let's see, Dietrich's had 56 at-bats this year. He's already been hit by pitches 5 times. So he is clearly in that Ron Hunt mode.
He's one of those guys.
Ron Hunt, after he was done with the Mets, had a year with the Expos as Dietrich grounds one to right. And that's the first out. Hunt, while with Montreal, was hit by a pitch 50 times in one season.
Well, Ron Hunt used to put padding on underneath, more than just the elbow pads. Ron had stuff on his ribs. So Blue Brock told the story one time. Gibson got mad and just threw at him every 4 at-bats he had. just went after him.
Just for fun. You want to get hit? Here. Here's Stanton, who hit one high off the fence in center field for a double to drive in the first run of the game. Stanton has 37 RBIs. 31 of the 37 have come at home. 31 RBIs in 21 home games. And a knee-high strike from Colon, 1-1. Ronnie and I had a discussion earlier this year about sluggers. There's a broken bat and it sails foul. That went out to shortstop.
Well, that's where that is where you got to pitch him. You can't.
You see him?
Yep. That's just sawed off. And Bartolo said, well, he almost took me to the bridge instead central and a ball out over the plate. I think I'm going to stay inside. That almost got his hands. Look at that strength in that man.
2-2 to Stanton. Anyway, Ronnie and I had this whole conversation about sluggers and guys who scared you when they came to the plate. I don't think there's anybody scarier right now than this guy.
No. The scariest guy in my generation was Dave Parker.
Cobra.
Yep. Those 3 years, he was MVP batting champion back to back. Most valuable player. He was 6'6", 200 and probably 55 pounds of solid chunk. And that was the most intimidating hitter, I think.
3-2, and he walked him. First walk given up by Colon. Only the 5th batter he's walked this year in 39 innings. Well, Stanton, in terms of stature, is a lot like Darryl Strawberry was, hitting from the opposite side of the plate.
Yep.
And really, they've had very similar beginnings to their careers.
Darryl has more speed, could steal more bases. He brought that dynamic with his game. I mean, Darryl was so incredibly talented. He was amazing. I liked having him hitting behind me.
Bet. Here's Casey McGee. That's why you guys saw so many left-handers.
Yes. And before we had Carter in '84, without Carter, it was, Darryl was young. Left-handers wouldn't pitch to me, and they basically pitch around me to get to Darryl.
How'd that go?
I'm very patient when it comes to matters of baseball. Outside of that,
don't keep you waiting.
So when Carter came, that was the right-hand bat behind me. That was a pretty formidable left-right-left combination.
Stanton with 2 steals this year. 2-0 to McGee, and he takes a strike. Colon's velocity appears to be down tonight.
It does.
For the season, he's averaging 89 miles an hour on his fastball. There were a lot of 85s and 86s tonight. And McGee takes that fastball for a strike, 2-2. McGee picked up his 22nd RBI with a base hit to right in the opening inning. Jared Saltalamacchia on deck. McGee had a 100 RBI season with the Brewers. He was first with the Cubs, and he was never going to make any progress in that organization, and blossomed for a year in Milwaukee, and then his numbers faded. Could be a double play. Murphy with the flip, Tejada with the turn, side retired. 4-6-3 on the double play. On we go to the fourth in Miami. 2-0 Marlins. Kevin Burkhardt talked to Bobby Abreu from the Mets dugout, but Bobby is concentrating on the game, and so it doesn't look like he'll be wandering over to where Kevin is stationed, so to do that sometime really soon.
We'll make it happen again down the road.
Or for the first time.
For the first time.
Together again for the first time. Here's Juan Lagares leading off in the fourth inning. Henderson Alvarez faced the minimum through the first three. Mets had 2 hits, but each was erased. David Wright thrown out trying to advance. Darno erased on a double play. Lagares shoots one down the right field line. Long one for Stanton. He's not going to get there, and it short hops the wall. And Lagares pulls in at second base with a double. Lagares has been a doubles machine on this road trip since coming back from the DL, his 8th double of the season.
Well, Met fans, you may have something in the oven right here. Just getting better every day. This Lagares looks like he can be something special. He uses the field. He hits line drives. We know about his defense. His offense has been spectacular.
So the Mets have their 3rd hit, their first extra base hit. And now Murphy grounded out to third base his first time. And he shoots one foul. Nice grab by the ball boy. Well, Lagares had a 13-game hitting streak stopped last night because he took only 1 at bat after coming on for defense. So gets a new one started tonight. That's now with 3 hits. 0-1 to Murphy. Pulled on the ground. That'll advance the runner. Jones makes the play. Lagares goes to third with 1 out.
Well, Murph gets the job done there. A little worried after swinging at that first pitch. It really wasn't a ball he could pull. And really, if Murph's a third hitter, fine. You pay 3 hitters to drive in runs. When you're a second hitter, you're a table setter, and you've got to get the ball and do what Murph just did right there. You got to advance the runner, preferably drive them in with a base hit pulled. There's a big difference between hitting third and second.
David Wright singled to center his first time up. David's been great at getting a runner in from third this year. 9 of 11. He's driven the runner from third with less than 2 out. By far the best on the ball club.
Ooh.
And Alvarez gets ahead of him with a slider.
Well, I tell you what, if Alvarez throws a slider like this with consistency, lights out. This is supposed to be the pitch he's working on the most. This is nasty.
Infield back for the Marlins. They've got a 2-0 lead. David gets in an 0-2 hole.
Pretty basic right there, isn't it? Baseball 101, slider down and away, sinker down and in. And now he's got command here. 0-2. The hitter's got to just bear down. Something David's very adept at. Fastball in.
Fourth choice. And he lines it to center field. On comes Ozuna, and he makes the grab, and Lagares has to hold it third. Ozuna hurrying in. He was playing pretty shallow and able to pick off that line drive and hold the runner.
Well, one mistake here by Lagares on the bases, Gary. He did not tag up. He got caught off the base. Watch his initial reaction. I know it's a line drive. Get back. When in doubt, get back. That's a tough play. That's a boom boom play right there. And you got to know where the outfielders are playing. And it's doubly tough here, even with outfielders playing in. It's such a big ballpark. It's very difficult, I would think, to be on the bases and discern how deep the outfield is, because it's just a Grand Canyon here.
Well, that's one thing we've talked about with the Marlins through both of these series, is that their outfielders have played very shallow. They did at Citi Field, and they have in this series. And, you know, unless Ozuna is playing relatively shallow, there's no way he makes that catch. So now 2 out. Lagares still at third for Granderson, who grounded out to second base his first trip.
They're not playing a big shift on Curtis, but they're certainly playing him to pull. Shortstop up the middle. Second baseman Dietrich really playing pull.
Curtis has had some hits up the middle on this road trip. Beating on that fastball, 1-2. 95 from Alvarez.
By the way, a terrific at bat from David Wright. 0-2, hit a rocket, a big hang with him. And this is where Curtis has problems, upstairs. He drops that back shoulder.
And he just got a piece. That one caught the home plate umpire. Vic Carapazzo, Long Island native, calling the balls and strikes today.
Decent breaking ball. Had a lot of plate.
Got Vic on the right hand, looked like.
He's got that crew cut working.
It's a tough Long Island guy. He'll hang in there. Here's the 1-2. And a rocket to right field, but Stanton comes over and picks it off to end the inning. So both Wright and Granderson hit the ball very hard, but neither one able to get Lagares home from third. So Henderson Alvarez living right in that inning, still has a 2-0 lead.
You're not kidding.
Jared Saltalamacchia will push to bunt, trying to defy the shift with David Wright playing way off the line, but he bunted it foul. Thursday, it's Draft Day 2014. What will the Jets do with their 18th pick? Get a complete draft breakdown, exclusive interviews, and reports from Florham Park as the future of the Jets is revealed. Jets Nation, Draft Day 2014 coverage begins Thursday, 6 o'clock, only on SNY. Saltalamacchia gets to swinging and falls behind 0-2. Saltalamacchia had a base hit to right in the first on the play. McGee tried to go first to third, and Granderson threw him out. That helped Bartolo Colon avoid further damage in what was already a damaging first inning. And he catches the outside corner to get Saltalamacchia for his first strikeout of the night.
Well, that borderline corner knees goes the pitcher's way, and I agree. It's got the knees. Pitcher's pitch. Love this slow motion. Oh, plenty. Absolutely. I love that. I talked to my director. Why didn't you have that kind of stuff when I played?
Your director is not really in a joking mood right now because he's already won. They're having the National Sports Emmys tonight.
Yes.
He's already won one Emmy tonight. He's up for another, so he's up to 41 Emmys for his career.
And that would make him angry?
No, he's just on tenterhooks waiting for the results.
I believe he won best, what was it, AL division? ALCS. He won the Emmy. Okay.
It's all those Red Sox fans voting for him. Fly ball out to left. And Chris Young right there waiting.
You saw the reaction of frustration from Garrett Jones. Colon will give you a very comfortable 0 for 4, as we say in baseball. Watch his reaction. Yeah, guess what? Hit line drives. You can have a very comfortable 0 for 4. Make you more unhappy.
Won't make you the first either. 2 out and nobody on. Here's Ozuna, who's single to left his first time up. So in Washington tonight, Clayton Kershaw is making his return from the DL for the Dodgers. And he hasn't allowed a run yet. But the Nats tonight are throwing a rookie named Blake Trinan, his first major league start. And he's also not allowed a run. They're in the fourth. Trinan from South Dakota State.
Really?
He's a jackrabbit.
Well, there's jackrabbits up there in those high plains.
Thus the nickname. There's a strike, 1-2 to Ozuna. And they say Trinan's throwing about 100 miles an hour tonight.
Oh, he's gassing it?
Yeah. So, might be a guy we see down the road.
Well, the Mets will be, what, 2 weekends from now in Washington.
Right. Weekend after next. After the Yankee series. Skimmed on the ground to Murphy and right through the wickets. Murphy didn't get the apron down. And Ozuna finds the space and is aboard.
Got loose here. Oh, up for the floodgates. Just a little loose. Got in front, everything right, just opened the floodgates.
4th error of the year for Murph. So a 2-out base runner prolongs the inning. And Danny Echeverria will bat. Echeverria popped up to second base his first time. That's 2 errors last night, including a crucial one on the infield by Quintanilla in the 8th. City probables for the day game tomorrow. Zach Wheeler for the Mets. New York native Tom Kohler for the Marlins. That's a 12:40 start here in Miami. So set your alarm.
That gets us home a little earlier.
Maybe.
We're landing around 7-ish if we don't go extras.
I was going to say, these two teams, they've played some long games the last year or so.
So I'll get home around 9 o'clock, have a late dinner. We land at 9? Oh, well, forget it then.
Fastball strike to Echeverria 0-2.
Off day Thursday, the Metsies, right?
That's correct.
Yes, and then they have the
Phillies come in Friday night.
And then the big Yanks. First 2 at Yankee Stadium, and then the second backup is at City, obviously.
Echeverria pops one up into shallow right. And Granderson's got it to retire the side. So Murphy's error, no matter for Colon, who's kicking it into gear. He's got a 2-0 lead after four, down 2-0 after 4. TV for an in-depth Jets and Giants draft preview with up-to-minute news, predictions, and interviews at thejetsblog.com and bigblueblitz.com, all part of the SNY.TV blog network. Chris Young takes a strike from Henderson Alvarez as we start the 5th. Mets down 2-0. Young fly to center his first time up and takes a letter-high strike, and Alvarez throwing strikes tonight, quickly ahead 0-2. 51 pitches, 37 strikes for Alvarez so far. Nearly a 3-to-1 strike-to-ball ratio. That's a good recipe for success. Duda and d'Arnaud to follow for the Mets in the 5th. Alvarez last year on the final day of the season tossed the rare walk-off no-hitter against the Detroit Tigers. Scoreless game till the bottom of the 9th when a wild pitch scored the game's only run. See some of the numbers on Chris Young, who started his career in spectacular fashion. Goes down swinging here on the breaking ball by Alvarez. That's his 3rd strikeout. Well, Infinity brings us this date in baseball history, and every baseball fan should know May 6th is Willie Mays' birthday. Willie is 83 today.
What a great shot. That's obviously 73. And to the right there, on upper right-hand corner, looks like Duffy Dyer. Is that Don Hahn behind Willie?
Of course, Willie was a member of the 1973 National League champion Mets. Duda hits a rocket through the right side, and he's got himself a 1-out hit. So the Mets have their 4th hit against Alvarez. They've really hit some balls hard the last 2 hours. You were noting that it is also the birthday of another former Giant, maybe less noted, but historically prominent as we watch Duda swing.
Big leg kick from Lucas, and that would be left-hand pitcher Masanori Murakami, who 64 was called up and was the first Japanese pitcher to play in Major League Baseball. I remember as a kid, I was 9 years old.
Double play ball right at Echeverria. He stumbles but gets it to Dietrich, and the rest is easy. Second ground ball double play turned by the Marlins tonight, 6-4-3. 7-pitch inning for Alvarez, 2-0 Miami. A spectacular sunset here in Miami tonight. Weather's been just great since we've been down here for these first 2 games of the series. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0 Marlins. Henderson Alvarez leads off against Colon and bluffs a bunt and takes a strike. Well, fresh from his abortive date with Bobby Abreu, Kevin Burkhardt has joined us in the booth.
I'm sorry I went out and looked on the streets, but I couldn't find him, fellas.
Well, we figured if you couldn't, match up with Bobby, we were a good second choice.
You guys are my first choice, as a matter of fact. So, I tried. We'll do it again. These things happen.
Bobby's intently watching the game, as he has been all night. We'll get him in a 4-minute unit for you in a few days. I think that it was just a little miscommunication.
Just maybe I should tweet him during the game. He'll respond. I don't think he's on Twitter, but I could try.
Well, one of the reasons we brought you up here tonight, Kev, was especially with the off and on nature of the way the Mets bullpen has been going, as Alvarez pokes one to right and Granderson grabs it. It seems like we have more and more discussion every day about the Mets' young pitchers working their way up through the farm system and how they might fit in here this year.
Yeah, I mean, these are the 3 big guys, the 3 big starters, which we all saw during the spring. And all of them are doing pretty well down at AAA. Jacob deGrom is doing particularly well. He's actually dominating right now. But, speaking to a few people in the organization today, John Ricco, the front office, and I also spoke with Wally Backman, who's managing down there, to get the views of when they can help. And, Gary and Keith, just talking with John today, his impression was that Montero is not too far away. He said he feels like he's close to being ready to help, and didn't think he was too far away. He said the other thing that was attractive about him is he's got the most AAA innings so far. So it's just judging by that conversation, I feel like that is a guy that could certainly be here relatively soon.
The question is, and I think a lot of people have asked this question, Montero's not really a power pitcher, so would he be a guy who profiles as a relief pitcher, at least in the short term?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, and I think the answer is yes, because what we were discussing today is that, there's nothing wrong if, say, we'll use Montero as the example. If he comes here, let's say for a couple months, is in the pen, and then goes back down to lengthen out a little bit, that also saves his innings. He's going to be on an innings limit this year, and that's one way of saving it. So, I think that he and deGrom especially are guys that they have no problem if they throw in the pen at some point this year, but they still view them both as starters.
Now, obviously, for them any one of them to make a transition from starting in the minors to relieving in the big leagues, they have to be ready for it. So what's the game plan for them?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things here. Ricco told me this today, and I thought it was a pretty good quote. He said, it's about them being introduced at the time that helps them be successful, but it's also about helping us win. So, where is that line? He said it's a conversation we've been having every single day. deGrom is the guy who's been pitching great. His numbers are off the charts. He's got a 1.89 ERA. Wiley told me the other day that he's been outstanding every start. His fastball, said, is up to 94. He's even touched 96, which is, harder than he's thrown.
Yelich goes down on strikes for the second out. Well, he certainly looks more like a relief pitcher. You would think that if he's pitching an inning at a time, he could be throwing 97, 98.
Keith, I think the attractive thing about deGrom, too, is that, if you look at, you always want your pitchers to be good fielders, but as a former shortstop, he's a tremendous fielder late in the game, going to help you out.
What also means, too, Kev, is that he's a good athlete, and you want athletes on the mound, and, he impressed me in spring training. So did the other guy, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right. Montero, I really liked. So these are nice little problems. Not really problems. They're nice things to have to contemplate. All they are is positives, and this is what the Mets have been doing, and they've got it coming along now, and they're now at the AAA level.
Now, we've been hearing all along, Kevin, that the one guy who is not going to be looked at as a relief pitcher is Syndergaard. Is that still the case?
I think that's still the case. And I think they still want him to, kind of adjust to AAA a little bit more. I think he's very similar to Wheeler where he was. If you remember last summer, Wheeler was struggling a little bit in AAA in Vegas, had to kind of get his footing, and I think Syndergaard is in the exact same place. He's had some good starts. From what I've heard, his stuff hasn't been at times as electric as they know it can be, and I've heard it compared to Wheeler at the same time last year.
Lined in left center, a base hit for Dietrich. So that keeps the inning alive for the Marlins. A 2-out single. It'll get Stanton to the plate. Well, this is Noah Syndergaard, who we saw during spring training. Just a great presence on the mound at 6'6", and that chiseled body. And he was blowing people away in spring. And I guess you'd have to say he didn't get off to a dominating start in AAA.
I think one encouraging thing that Wally Backman told me the other day, now Syndergaard started last night, so Wally was talking about the start before, he said he hit 98 in the 7th inning. I mean, that's impressive.
That's like Harvey.
Yeah.
Just missing to Stanton for ball 1. Well, I would imagine there's every likelihood that, like with Wheeler last year, we'll see Syndergaard sometime June, early July. Is that feasible?
I think so. I think, right now the way it's sitting, that certainly sounds true.
Stanton shoots one to right, and Granderson will have to play it on a hop. Dietrich will go first to third. So Stanton's been on base 3 times in a row, and the Marlins have first and third and 2 out. And is it reasonable to think, particularly with what we've seen from Henry Mejia so far this year and the knowledge about how few innings he threw this year, that when Syndergaard comes up, Mejia goes to the bullpen?
I think that is a great assumption. Very, very possible as they watch his innings. And I think kind of what you say about Syndergaard in that time frame, I think the time frame for Montero and DeGrom, and especially Montero, I think it's soon. I think you could see Montero here, anytime up in the bullpen to help this team.
So there's every reason to think that over the next month to 6 weeks, we might see wholesale changes in the Mets bullpen?
I think that's fair.
Well, there's one issue that there's still time for Mejia. I mean, Mejia's had a couple roadblocks now getting in that 5th inning where he blows up. He's going to get around 2, 3, 4 more starts before you're talking July for Syndergaard, or if they call anybody to go into the rotation. Mejia's got plenty of time to right the ship, and if Mejia gets it together and starts pitching better and getting deeper into games and pitching good ball games, then it's going to be tough to get him out of the rotation. So, you never know what's going to happen in between, and there's a lot of time for Mejia to improve.
Well, I mean, they say you can never have too much pitching. That it's never a problem having too many starters, and those things always resolve themselves. Pitchers get hurt over the course of the year. A lace into center field, and McGee's got himself another RBI. Boy, he has just been an RBI machine. Game-winning hit last night, second RBI hit today, and it's 3-0 Miami.
Well, I tell you what, it's a different hitter, isn't it, Gary? That fastball came back over the middle, but still not over swinging, up the middle, line drives. He's just clutching out.
Said it last night, I'll say it again. It's a great lesson to the Mets, who play in a similar ballpark. You want to drive in runs? It's a good way to do it. Hit line drives. 3 straight 2-out hits against Cologne. He's now given up 7 hits on the night. Here's Saltalamacchia with 2 out and 2 on.
I was speaking with McGee yesterday, guys, and you've been saying it the last 2 days, and he said, this wasn't just this year. I really had this approach in Japan last year. The home runs just came. He said the one thing about the park is, yes, is it big? Is it hard to hit home run? But you have to look at it the other way. Is there's so much territory where the ball can land if you just make good contact.
Absolutely. It's a line drive hitter's haven.
Saltalamacchia hits one out to deep left center, but playable for Chris Young, and that retires the side. 3 straight 2-out hits produce a run. After 5, Marlins 3, Mets nothing. neighborhood Little Havana, and there is such a great Cuban-American presence here in this town, and you can feel it in so many ways walking around the streets near Marlins Park. Had a nice Cuban sandwich today. Awesome. Ruben Tejada takes ball one. Mets down to 3-0 now as we start the 6th inning. Tejada bounced into a double play his first time up. It'll be Tejada, then Colon and Lagares due up for the Mets in the 6th against Henderson Alvarez, who's shut them out over the first 5. Spike giving up some hard-hit grounders. McGee handles this one and throws out Tejada one away. So we mentioned that it's Willie Mays' 83rd birthday today. And Kev, you got something special?
Yeah, this was interesting. The late, great Jim Beecham, I was friendly with his son Cash. Actually, when I called minor league baseball, Cash was the manager.
You knew Shoot Fire?
Cash he's something else, man. Let me tell you. So the other day on Twitter, Cash puts this photo up that we have that we'll show you hopefully after the pitch. And he just puts it up there because he came across the photo, and it's a great picture. It's from 1973, and it's Jim Beecham, and on one side you got Willie Mays, on the other side you've got Tom Seaver. And I called Cash to ask him what possessed him to put that on Twitter. How do you see it? And here's the shot. I mean, what a great picture. He said it was his dad's favorite photo. He had it hanging up, and he loved it for a lot of reasons, obviously for the guys in it, but he said the real reason why it was one of his favorite photos, he said, because he would constantly get fan mail, and they would write, "Dear Jim, you're great. You're my favorite player of all time. By the way, can you get me Seaver and Mays' autograph?"
Yeah.
And so he loved it, and he put it up, and the rest is history. Cash was 10 years old at the time, so he said he used to go to the park all the time with his dad, but he wasn't allowed to be bat boy until he was a little bit older.
Colon loses his helmet as he strikes out. Of course, Met fans of a certain age know the story that Jim Beecham was with the Mets before they acquired Willie Mays, and Beech wore number 24. And when Willie was acquired in May of 1973, Beecham gave up his 24 and took the number 5. Willie could wear it.
I had the great pleasure to play in Tulsa, Oklahoma in AAA in 1974, a whole season with Jim Beecham. Called him Shoot Fire, Hum Baby. That's what he used to say all the time. So he was always Shoot Fire. A great guy he was.
Lagares trying to bunt and trying to get out of the way, but he gets hit by the pitch. And home plate umpire Vic Carapazza checks with the first base umpire to make sure that he did not offer at it.
He did not
say no, so it is a hit batsman.
So both squads are even now in the hit by pitch department.
Dietrich was hit by a pitch in the first inning. The difference is Lagares wasn't trying to be hit.
By the way, Mays gave Beecham a nice set of golf clubs for the number.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So Beecham was with Cincinnati, Houston, and the Mets. I think he might have played for Atlanta too. Yes. He was part of that big Tommy Helms trade, I believe, Gary, when the Reds acquired Joe Morgan, and they traded Tommy Helms, Lee May, that big trade.
What a great trade that was for the Reds. Murphy takes Lone away, 2-0. Murphy's 0 for 2. I mean, Joe Morgan was a good player in Houston, but then he became
a great player,
a Hall of Fame player in Cincinnati.
Back-to-back MVPs, I believe. Greatest second baseman I've ever saw or played against.
Alvarez behind in the count. Murphy slashes one down the left field line for a base hit. Lagares will go first to third. Played at the sidewall by Yelich. Murphy into second base with an opposite field double. So after watching the Marlins put together a 2-out rally in the last half inning, the Mets now have second and third and 2 out for Wright.
Well, this is what Murph's been doing this whole road trip, and that is hitting the ball, not just hitting the ball to right field, hitting it hard. Left field, excuse me, opposite field. He's not taking that little broom sweep swing. He is driving it.
Put away the broom and got out the sledgehammer.
Can't sweep. Got to attack.
So a chance for the Mets to get right back in this game. Second and third and 2 out. David Wright has hit the ball hard twice. Single to center, line to center, 1 for 2. And Alvarez all of a sudden having trouble getting ahead of the count, which he's been doing most of the night.
Now the one pitch he probably not going to throw this at bat, and it'd be wise not to throw, and that would be his third pitch, his slider. You see the outfield really to the opposite field, infield straight up.
Again, not very deep, and that helped the Marlins the last time when Ozuna was able to pick off Wright's liner in shallow center, which cost the Mets a run when Lagares didn't tag.
These are one of those big at bats right here in the course of a game.
That's with 5 hits tonight, but they've all been spread out. And a ground ball right at Echeverria. He handles it, and that retires the side of the Mets. Strand 2 in scoring position. Hey, Kev, thanks for coming up and visiting.
Oh, it's a pleasure, guys.
We're always happy to play second fiddle to Bobby Abreu.
Glad I was able to find you.
You know, always know where to find us.
I'm jealous. You get to wander around the ballpark. We're stuck up here.
Marlins finale with highlights and reactions. Plus up to the minute news as the Rangers get ready for Game 4 against the Penguins at the Garden on Loudmouth, presented by Caesars Atlantic City tomorrow at 5:30 only on SNY. Garrett Jones first pitch swinging. Flies one out to center field, and Juan Lagares has it. One pitch by Colon and one out of the home sixth. It's 3 of them in a row that Jones has gotten under.
He's got the big uppercut swing. He's either downtown, all or nothing.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Marcell Ozuna, who's 1 for 2. So the pitching-rich Braves just activated Gavin Floyd, who's making his first start for them tonight against the Cardinals. 5 scoreless innings.
Well, they required him from the White Sox.
He's been out all year. But now they got Minor back. They've got Floyd back. Kind of negates the loss of Beachy and Dave
Hudson.
Well, maybe not. Maybe nobody's going to negate that loss.
I mean, that's
he's off to.
He's just been fabulous for the Giants.
Of course, they lost Medlin along with Beachy to Tommy John surgery. But the problem with the Braves right now is they're not hitting. They're up 1-0 tonight on a Justin Upton home run. Call strike 3. Ozuna caught looking. Third strikeout for Colon. In fact, the Braves have lost 7 in a row despite that tremendous starter's ERA. You know, Aaron Harang's come back to earth a little bit, which I think everybody expected.
you would take what April they gave him. He gave him.
He was a good stopgap, is what he was. Now they've got David Hale in the bullpen. So it's an interesting Atlanta team because the last couple of years we've talked about it a lot. They've really been such an all or nothing offense, and right now they're in a nothing mode. I think during their 7-game losing streak, they're 6 for 51 with runners in scoring position. Echeverria hits it sharply, but right at Murphy. And Colon has his easiest inning of the night, a 6-pitch bottom of the 6th. That sends us on to the 7th, 3-0 Miami. Curtis Granderson leading off in the 7th inning. Curtis is 0 for 2 tonight. Hit a bullet to right field that was caught as last time. And Henderson Alvarez, who's tiptoed out of trouble a couple of times tonight, en route to a 3-0 lead. Falls behind Granderson 2-0 with Chris Young on deck and Lucas Duda to follow. And now 3-0.
Well, they had a tough inning. His first real challenge last inning when the Mets had a 2-out rally going. 2nd and 3rd. Got out of it.
There's a strike, 3-1. He hasn't walked about it tonight. He struck out 4, allowed 5 hits.
Got a really nice sinker going. Press with his sinker.
Full count to Granderson.
Pull on the infield, slight pull on the outfield for defense.
3-2 to Curtis, and he fouls one away. 93 from Alvarez. He's hit 96 tonight, but mostly working in that 91 range with his sinker.
It would be hard to believe he throws 96, to be honest with you. He's not a barn burner. He's a sinker ball pitcher.
Again, the 3-2 on the inside corner. Granderson didn't think so.
It
Rather
was
demonstrative.
It was a strike. Just tied him up. Came inside and got him. Inside corner. That's a strike. That's a fine pitch. Away, away, away. We have run a 7-pitch at bat, and first 6, 7 pitches were all away, and he popped him inside, tied him up. Good pitch.
5 strikeouts for Alvarez. That matches his season high. He's not a big strikeout pitcher. He's never had more than 7 in a big league game.
He hasn't walked anybody. 1-hit batsman.
Chris Young has flied out and struck out. Pounds one into the ground, a foul ball, 1-1. Back over the screen, 1-2. Now Alvarez with a 1-2. Bounce down to third, a fair ball, and McGee gets it over to Jones, who uses some nice footwork to stay on the bag and get the second out.
Nice play by McGee here. Like Arenado we saw in Colorado. Now watch the side shuffle here by Jones at first. I never liked to do this because now the runner can come into play. Because when you shift into foul territory, the runner cuts in front. You got to make sure that that runner is not close enough to get in the way. Now that was a proper play. He could have made a natural, easy stretch inside the line in fair territory, which is what I like to do. I never hardly went into foul territory. Just wanted to play it. I always safety first.
But he also had his right foot right on top of the bag, which I don't think he ever wanted to do. 1-1 to do that.
Well, here you go. And you know, he knows where the runner is. That's why he's not worried about getting cleated. He knows where the runner is. So that's nice. Really, it's a nice shift. That's a nice drill for young first basemen to do. Get on that bag and go back and forth like Jones did there. That was a drill that my father had me do when I was very young, started playing the game. You just make the bag feel like it's a part of you. And that bag is, you just have to know where it is, and you never have to look again. And it's just like an appendage of the body. It's you and you're united as one.
Duda lifts one to shallow left. Yelich coming on. And the side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Henderson Alvarez. Only his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. He's shut out the Mets through 7. Fans will receive a 1969 commemorative Nolan Ryan bobblehead courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets.
It's too bad the Mets never got him back. You know, just they got so many other guys back, but he was just too good. I don't think Houston was going to give him up.
Well, the question that we always wondered about with Nolan was, had he stayed in New York, would he have been nearly as successful as he wound up being?
I don't see any reason why not.
Well, I think he felt a little like a fish out of water in New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you kind of grow into it. What, he was Big Texan? Big Tex?
Alvarez hits one out to right center, deep in the gap for Granderson. Well, Alvarez has got a clue up there, doesn't he?
He sure does.
That's the first out of the inning. I mean, Nolan was with the Mets, what, 5 years?
Then he went to California.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it wasn't like he was there for a year or two. And he never
wasn't comfortable.
I mean, he had, don't get me wrong, he had some unbelievable games. He had a game against the Phillies where he gave up a leadoff single to Denny Doyle and retired the next 27 in a row. I mean, that's what he was capable of on a game-by-game basis.
He spent most of his career in California?
Well, he was there, let's see, he got there in 72.
He was there a long time.
He was there until he went to Houston, which was
I faced
81, 82.
Lou was still playing, because I remember the first time I faced him. And Lou told me when he gets in trouble late in the game, Nolan likes to throw his curveball.
Yeah. And could you hit his curveball if you were looking for it?
If he could hang it with the best of them. He threw it good. You're just like JR with JR's slider. If they snapped one on you, you were hard pressed to make contact.
0-2 to Yelich. And he goes down on strikes. Boy, Colon is pitching better at this point of the game than he has all night.
And you know he's keeping the ball down in this little run. California to 78, 79.
So he was in California for 8 years, and then Houston for 7, 8, 9 years before he went to Texas. And he was pitched the last 5 years in Texas.
So the longest period of time was with the Astros.
9 with Houston, 8 with California, 5 apiece with the Mets.
Never won 20 games, correct?
No, I don't believe he did.
Yep. Neither did Don Sutton.
No, he did win.
That's right. What am I thinking?
California had 2 20-win seasons.
In 19.
But he was 21 and 16, 22 and 16.
336 innings he charted.
I mean, you know what they always said about Nolan Ryan is that he was a 500 pitcher.
Right.
And, you know, he walked so many batters for the first half of his career. I mean, listen to these walk totals for seasons. 157, 162. In 1974, he walked 202 batters. 183. 1977, 204 walks. I mean, year after year, he'd walk 6, 7, 8, 9 a game.
He led the league in walks, 8 times?
8 times. But then the second half of his career, he finally, really once he got to Houston and was pitching in a great pitcher's ballpark, he finally reduced his walk total.
Did you see the 1 year he almost struck out 400?
Right.
Go up.
383.
Oh, my.
That's the record. He beat Koufax's record by 1.
Wow.
That was 1973. Of course, he worked 326 innings that year. 0-2 to Dietrich on the inside corner, and Colon with back-to-back strikeouts to finish off the 7th. So Colon getting it in gear, but the Mets have been shut out through 7. Eighth inning, Mets down 3-0 before Henderson Alvarez, who's thrown only 83 pitches through the first 7. Travis d'Arnaud takes a slider out of the strike zone. Bobby Abreu's come out on deck to bat for Ruben Tejada. And then the pitcher's spot due up, so Jose Valverde getting ready in the Mets bullpen. d'Arnaud takes a strike. Travis has one of the Mets' 5 hits, a broken bat single to left center in the 3rd. Then he grounded into a double play to end the 5th. Mets have lost 3 runners on the bases tonight, 2 on double plays and 1 on an odd pickoff play. 1 and 2 to d'Arnaud. Well, a late call for the Verizon trivia question. Waited till the 8th. Lowest single season ERA by a Marlins starter. Well, you got a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and a lot of good pitchers came down this pike.
I mean, Jose Fernandez was fabulous last year, but was that the lowest ever? You had Josh Beckett and
Al Leiter,
Alex Fernandez, Kevin Brown.
The other Cuban defector that was the MVP in the World Series.
Livan Hernandez.
Yes.
I mean, they've had Ryan Dempster. I mean, they've had great pitchers through here. Fly ball, deep right center, but back goes Stanton to get it. 1 away.
Pavano had some good years here, too, didn't he?
A.J. Burnett.
Oh.
So here's Abreu to bat for Tejada. Ruben went 0 for 2 tonight. 0 for his last 13. Abreu got a start last night in right field. Went 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. 3 for 15 to start his Mets career.
And Eric Young is in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Colon. Welcome to the National League, Bartolo.
Yeah, Colon's only thrown 90 pitches and is settled in, but in this league, if you're behind on the late innings,
well, it's the way it should be.
Yes, it is.
I'm fearful the National League is going to go the way of the DH. I'm very fearful.
Well, you know my plan, right?
What?
Well, the reason why the DH still exists is because it's generally a high-priced position. And the Players Union would be very unhappy at giving up the DH. We'll talk about it more in a moment. First, we're going to go to the studio for a game break with Steve Gelbs, brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. That game's in the 6th inning. Here's Eric Young to pinch hit for Colon. So Colon goes 7, allows 3 runs, 7 hits, and right now that's enough to beat him. Anyway, you know how everybody's short on the bench now because you're carrying 12 pitchers?
Right.
So why not offer the union 2 more players on each team, 27-man rosters, in exchange for getting rid of the DH? Create 60 more jobs, give the managers more flexibility, and that way the DH can disappear.
Oh, I asked Terry the question in his office today. Would you rather have an 11-man staff with another bench player, or how he currently is? And he said, I'd rather have an extra bench player and 1 less pitcher.
I mean, when you were playing, everybody had a 10-man pitching staff, so you had 7-man benches. Now with 5-man benches, there's so much less flexibility for the managers, and they always run into trouble in extra inning games.
And one of the bench players is always a catcher, and they don't have a second catcher, so you can't really use them.
Used to be teams would carry 3 catchers because they had enough roster spots to do that. So I just think that would be a nice compromise. Give the union what they need and give the managers what they need too. Alvarez cruising along through 8. Mets will go to the bullpen when we come back. Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Visit CadillacTristate.com to search local offers and to find a local dealer near you. By Cure Auto Insurance. Rates should be based on how you drive, not your credit score. Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well. And by Pepsi. Live for now.
Nice colors.
2 changes for the Mets. Omar Quintanilla comes into play shortstop, and Jose Valverde, who's had very little work lately, will work the bottom of the 8th.
Well, he pitched 1 inning and 10 pitches the first game of that series in Colorado. He's kind of fallen from favor here.
Giancarlo Stanton's been on base 3 times tonight. An RBI double in the first, a walk in the third, a single to right in the 5th. Marlins jumped on Colon for 2 first-inning runs. He settled in nicely after that, gave up a 2-out run in the 5th, but that's it. Colon threw 90 pitches over 7 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts, and a hit batsman. And there's every reason to think that Henderson Alvarez will try to finish what he started. Alvarez has thrown only 94 pitches through 8 innings and has been pretty much in complete command. Had a couple of jams to work out of. Mets got a leadoff double from Lagares in the 4th. He got stranded. They got a hit batsman and a double from Murphy with 2 out of the 6th. And he left 2 in scoring position. And that's really been it. Stanton grounds one behind third, foul. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. We asked who had the lowest ERA in a single season for a Marlin. I think it was Kevin Brown.
Starter. Oh, we forgot about Kevin Brown. I faced him in Cleveland when he's with Texas. That was some kind of hard sinker. That was not fun. I was also finished.
Kevin Brown was part of that 1997 Marlins team that won it all as a wild card team. They had a stacked team that year. Darren Dalton and Bobby Bonilla and Devon White and Edgar Renteria, of course, was the hero, young player then. Stanton draws a leadoff walk.
There was Leiter on that team, or was Leiter?
Leiter was on that team. Alex Fernandez, Kevin Brown. Levon, of course, was a rookie that year. He was the LCS and World Series MVP.
Then they beat Cleveland.
Right. Won in the 7th game in extra innings.
Yes.
After Jose Mesa blew the save in Game 7. Renteria drove in the winning run. Scored Craig Counsell.
Renteria was a nice little player. Nice offensive shortstop.
Here's Casey McGee, who has 2 RBI singles tonight after wrapping out the game-winning hit last night. So McGee now with 23 runs batted in. Hitting well over 400 with runners in scoring position. What a start he's off to after spending last year in Japan. Valverde deposed as the closer after a very short period of time. And he's gone from closing to pretty much non-entity in a flash. And now the Mets have to figure out whether Valverde is a guy who has a chance to help them this year, or whether he's a guy who may fall by the wayside when those young pitchers begin to make their way to the big leagues.
Well, he's a guy with a rubber arm. I wouldn't be. I know he's pitched only 1 inning as most of his career, but maybe bring him in early in ball games.
Who's going to get this one? Duda can't make the play.
It's got to be Murph's ball. Murph's got to call him off. Murph was tentative on that one. It's an easier play for the second baseman. Murph's there. He's got to take it. He's got to call it off. And he knows it too. You see his expression. He runs a long way here, Murph, but he's there. He can get it on the run. He should have called him off. And he knows it.
No error on the play, but the time at bat nonetheless prolonged for McGee. Well, that's the problem sometimes with shading your defense. Murph was playing all the way over near second base. But you're right, he still could have gotten there.
On the run, make the play. It's a tough play for over the shoulder for the first baseman.
Unless he's you.
Well, I didn't say that.
I did. I saw you make that play.
I did. You know what the key to that play was? It took me around 5 years to figure it out because I botched it for 5 years.
There goes Stanton. And the throw too late. Stanton has his third stolen base as McGee strikes out.
Well, Valverde is slow to the plate from the belt. So Stanton steals the base. Gosh, I would almost, with his hamstring problems he's had over the last couple of years, Gary, I would think if I was managing his club, I'd say, hey, Mike, Giancarlo, excuse me, would you just calm down? No steals. Just swing the bat, make the plays in the outfield.
Getting back to the pop-up, that's over here. You got to catch. You're like a wide receiver catching a long bomb, and you've got. It's an optical illusion when you're looking up almost over your shoulder. You think you're under it, and you're not. And the key is the last 2 steps. Just keep running, and you'll catch it. And I just finally, you know who told me that?
Mr. Bud Harrelson.
Of course. Greatest infield instructor ever.
Buddy actually applauded me one time as a Cardinal in Shea Stadium, and I know Buddy will remember this. He was coaching first base, and I had just figured it out, and I went over, did the same play in right field line and caught it, and Buddy applauded me.
He's such a great guy.
So Lamacchia takes outside. By the way, that stolen base for Stanton, only the 7th stolen base against the Mets this year. They've allowed fewer steals than any team in the league. And for the Marlins, that's only their 9th steal all year. They're last in the league in stealing bases.
They're not a speed team. Big shift on the infield.
It's a good changeup by Valverde, 1-2. Here's your fan photo of the day, brought to you by AT&T. And, well, we said dogs and babies.
Is that a dog?
Isn't it?
Could it be a cat?
No, it's a dog.
I can't tell. I'm going blind. What's a cute? Whatever it is, it's cute.
It is.
It's a cat.
No.
Thought so. Don't try to confuse me.
You got to show us.
Can we show it? Show it again.
Blow it up. Yeah.
It's a cat. I'm telling you, I'm standing behind this. It's a cat.
You sure? Look at the ears.
Yeah, it's a cat.
Might be a fox.
Looks like a badger.
Oh, nice hat anyway. Here's the 1-2. And Lamacchia out on strikes. So Valverde going to the off-speed stuff, and he has back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, he's throwing more splitters. Valverde was throwing, remember, predominantly fastballs when he was getting lit up, and now he's mixing it up much better.
So 2 outs, Stanton at second. Here's Garrett Jones, who had a frustrating night against Bartolo Colon. 3 pop-ups. And takes a fastball strike. Tomorrow, early game here in Miami. Our coverage begins at 12 noon for the final game of the series and the road trip. Zach Wheeler for the Mets, Tom Kohler for the Marlins. Ball and a strike to Jones. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, the Mets will have the top of the batting order coming up. Lagares, Murphy, and Wright. And presumably Henderson Alvarez will be going to the mound looking for his 2nd complete game of the year. Had a shutout earlier this season. And looking for another. Off-speed pitch fouled off, 1-2. Marcelo Ozuna would be next. Under the watchful eye of his owner.
I just got a text from my oldest daughter. She pulled a muscle in her rib cage. I told her not to do too much core.
She's swinging the bat. Swing and a miss, and Valverde with 3 straight strikeouts after a leadoff walk. So we head to the 9th, top of the order coming up. Mets trying to rally down 3-0. Ninth inning, Juan Lagares leads off, pops the first pitch up, and Alvarez looking around, waiting for Jones to come in and make the grab.
Very surprised, down 3-0, not to be taking for first strike.
Get to Citi Field this Friday for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Phillies at 7:10. All fans in attendance will receive a Curtis Granderson t-shirt, courtesy of Las Vegas Tourism. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Alvarez is now retired 8 in a row. Daniel Murphy, the last man to reach against him, doubled down the left field line on the 6th. Alvarez has a 2-hit shutout this year against Seattle. In fact, he has 3 complete games in his career, and all 3 have been shutouts, including his no-hitter against Detroit on the final day of last season. And he's 2 outs away from a shutout tonight, sitting at only 95 pitches for the night. Big gust of wind just blew up. That's why Murphy stepped down. Murph takes a strike. David Wright on deck, and if anybody gets on, Curtis Granderson. Mets had a runner at third with 1 out in the 4th, didn't score. They had second and third and 2 out in the 6th, didn't score. And those have been their threats tonight. You know, complete games are a rarity these days.
Yep. Wow.
Think about that. Back in the 70s, more than 50% of the games were completed. Murphy rolls over that sinker, and it's 1-2. Now the 1-2 from Alvarez, and this is outside. 2-2. Steve Cishek is on his feet, just standing around with his arms crossed down in the Marlins bullpen in case he's needed. Murphy skies one foul down the left side, and that'll go out of play. So Alvarez has reached 100 pitches for the night. Coming up after the post game on Geico Sports Night, Chris Carlin will look ahead to the NFL draft, the Knicks, and of course guessing the color of Chris's pants. That's big. All on Geico Sports Night. Just inside to Murphy, 3-2.
Just missed. Nice try. Now he's going to go back out. See if he doubles up inside. I doubt it. Probably up. I think it had the corner.
(3-2) to Murphy. He fouls it away. Alvarez has not walked a batter all night. He did hit a batter. He hit Lagares with a pitch in the 6th. No walks, 6 strikeouts. That's 5 hits, but they haven't had more than 1 hit in any inning.
Well, let's see if they try to come back in. I'm not sure what. Yep, they're coming back in. He didn't get it there.
So if nothing else, Murphy's making them work. 8 pitches deep in the at-bat and still going.
I think they're going to try to come back in again. And since he missed away, Murph does not know the intent of that pitch was inside now. Slider, no. Changeup, no. He wants to throw fastball in. I like that. Aggressive.
And he drives it to the gap in right center field. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Murphy, with his 2nd extra base hit of the night, pulls it at second base with a 1-out double. So the Mets have life in the 9th inning. Just their 6th hit of the night.
Excellent at bat. 10th double for Murph on the year. Just really a terrific at bat. And here's the wants to change up, no. Fastball in. But he got it down instead of up and in, and it bled out over the middle a little bit too much, and Murph just covered it. Murph continues to rake.
So Murphy with a couple of doubles tonight. Now the Mets need 1 more base runner to get the tying run to the plate as David Wright steps in. Cishek begins to throw in earnest now in the Marlins bullpen. Alvarez at 104 pitches. 1 out in the 9th. And the slider in the dirt for ball 1. Wright is 1 for 3 tonight, single to center in the first. Then with a runner at third and 1 out in the fourth, he had a bullet to center field, but Ozuna caught it and Lagares failed to tag, and so the run did not come home. And then David's biggest at bat came in the sixth, second and third, 2 out, and he hit a bouncer to short to get Alvarez through that jam. So a chance here to get the tying run to the plate if he can get on. On the outside corner with the fastball.
Let's direct my attentions on this fine performance by Alvarez here. He has nipped the corners beautifully with his sinker, in and out, used both sides of the plate very effectively. Very impressed. It's the first time I've really seen him pitch. Very impressive.
Too high. 2-1 to David. Last night the Marlins rallied late from a 3-0 deficit. Mets trying to do the same tonight, but only a couple of outs to play with. Two one coming to David, and he hits it sharply, but right at the second baseman Dietrich. And now the Mets are down to their final out. Murphy to third, but now they're 2 away. Curtis Granderson will try and keep the Mets alive. Granderson 0 for 3 tonight. In 6 straight games leading into this one. He's grounded out, lined to right, and taken a call third strike tonight. So Alvarez trying to complete the shutout. And the 24-year-old has one more obstacle. Granderson takes a strike. If Granderson can keep it going, Chris Young would be next. I have a feeling if Granderson keeps it going, Alvarez may not get a chance to finish. Strike 2.
Little expanding strike zone here with 1 out away. See what happens when you throw in strikes? Umpires will give you those corners.
Mets are down to their final strike. 0-2 to Granderson. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Henderson Alvarez completes the shutout. And the Marlins have taken the first 2 games of this series. Alvarez goes the distance on a 6-hitter. And the Mets are shut out for the 3rd time this season, as Miami gets 2 in the first against Cologne and rides that behind Henderson Alvarez to a 3-0 victory.
Well, you very rarely in today's game see a complete game, and for me it's fun to see a pitcher out there dealing. And no walks, 1-hit batsman, the only free pass he gave today, scattered 6 hits. Just really was a masterpiece of a game he threw. The Mets had only a couple opportunities to score in the middle of the game and didn't get the hits. So just too much Alvarez. Cologne threw a tough luck ball game.
Cologne gave up a couple of runs in the first to Stanton and McGee. Marlins tacked on a run in the 5th as McGee drove in another, and that's it as Alvarez goes the distance and beats the Mets 3-0. More coming up from Miami in just a moment.